back to part 2 for the RV125 build, 1973 model. I'm going to show you around all the parts now that I've stripped down, and I'll show you some of the, how bad and corroded some of the parts are, so you can see how much of a good job we actually do when it all goes back together. In this video as well, I'm going to strip down this engine. So this engine was used in the TS125 as well. Well, it's a 125 engine, so it was used in the Suzuki TS for about the same years, and I think they carried on for a bit longer. This one's got the built-in two-stroke oil pump as well. There's some little things I can tell you about that. When you rebuild this engine, you've got to make sure you prime the pump. And I think it might help just the first, just put say some like a couple of litres of mixed two-stroke in the tank as well, so we'll make sure that all the air is out that system. As well as that, I went online and I found a free manual, just downloaded it and just printed it off. Stuck a binder on there as well. Whenever you're doing engine rebuilds or you've got a bike like this, these manuals can be so handy, because obviously when you come to do something like this, stripping down a bike like this, you've got bloody hundreds of things to try and remember on how it goes back together. So it's always good to just get a manual, and you can make sure everything's going back together. You've got exploded diagrams, everything. So I'll definitely be looking in this for little tips and tricks. You know, it's got all the gear selectors, which way round they all go, and they tell you tolerances as well for the con rod, the slash, all sorts. So definitely get a manual if you're going to be doing something like this. I'll just show you around the parts there now. I'll just take you off the mount. By the way, guys, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and hit the bell notification. So here we go. These are all the parts. There's the frame. We've got the first new parts in there. You can see the rear shocks on the back of the bike. So this frame is very rum indeed. So it's going to take some sandblasting. We'll sandblast it all, and we'll powder coat this gloss black. In the last video I said matte black, but we're going to do it gloss black. Here are all the bits and pieces. I try and keep organised. We've got the fuel there, so we've got the carburettor and the slide, and then that is all of the bolts off the bike. Won't be using them. I've ordered a load of stainless steel fixings and all sorts, so I went through, measured majority of them, and then just ordered a ruck load of stainless steel. We've got the rear wheel spindles, the drum brakes, and then we've got some rubber parts, and then some seals, and then we've got some little rubbers and bushes and all that. Over here we've got the electrics. To be fair, the electrics hasn't been chopped. There's some wires that need to be replaced. The coil, I might have a look for a new coil. That's pretty rum, so I'll have a look around for one of them. The gauges. This gauge, the speedo, was broken, unluckily. So I'm hoping that I can just glue that back together. I can't find one online for that. And then on this one as well, I said to you about the trigger being broken. I've just taken it apart quickly just to see if I can fix it. So we've got this part here. Quite hard to pick up with one hand. You can see the bit that's broken off there. So what I might do is try and get like a little saw blade and cut a notch in there and get a piece of steel glued in there, and hopefully we can make that work again, because it's nice, because it's still got all the original connectors on, so it'll be nice to use that. Yeah, so electrics are there, fuel, and then these are all the parts that are going to be repowder coated and bead blasted and repolished and all sorts. The hubs. These will be bead blasted and left natural alloy, and we'll use WD-40 to protect them from the atmosphere. WD-40 is good. WD-40 was designed by aerospace engineers. It's called Water Displacement Formula 40, and it took 40 attempts to get the right grade of water displacement for the alloy, special alloy shuttles. These are the steel wheels. very bad indeed, very corroded. So they'll be sandblasted as well. And then this box here is all the stuff I'll be sending off for bright zinc plating. So I've got to go through that, clean all the parts, bead blast them all, and then send them off. There'll be a quite hefty bill for all that there. Yeah, so you got a good idea on how much I strip it down. I've already sent the plastics off to get all the graphics recopied, and I've sent a piece of the green of the bodywork off to get colour matched, and I'm going to get all that booked in. So I'd like to get all this bike together for Christmas. Here's the engine, so we'll start stripping this down, and I think I'm going to start on this side here. We'll take that off there and then work on there. So I'll put you back on the tripod. There we go. I don't know if this is going to be high enough. Oh yeah, it'll be all right there. So let's have a look in here. Put you there. See in there, can't you? I don't know what the autofocus is going to do, so I'll try and lock you on as I go. Right, I want to take this case off first, and we need to remove this here first. So that's a 10mm. I use an impact gun quite a lot for taking things apart, but I will never use it for putting things back together. Just remember that. Don't put things back together with a impact gun, guys. All you'll do is cause yourself damage, and that will be the end of that. So I'm going to use a, I'm not sure what this thing's called, but it's to help. All these screws around here on this case are all posi, and I don't really want to round them off. And an impact driver tool, very handy. This one's broken. I need to get a new replacement one. The bit keeps on falling out of it. It's a bright nightmare, but it will do. Right, so I presume the majority of them are going to be somewhat loose. It shouldn't be. Yeah. Yep. I don't know how I'm going to get into some of them. They're going to be quite tight to get into. That's another one. Is that all there is on there? One. Yeah, three. What I'll do with all these screws as well, I'll keep all these screws in a pile because I haven't ordered stainless steel screws for the engine yet, and I want to get the engine stripped down because if there's any other parts that can go off for bright zinc plating, I can send them off. So I'd like to get them parts sent off as soon as possible. It's always good to have lots of tubs. So stick that in. Look, comes straight off. So we've got a, it looks like I haven't seen a clutch like that before, but it's got like some kind of spiral thing in it. I don't know why they do that. So we'll have to tell some screws in there, so I need to take that off. All these items as well, I'll be bead blasting, and this engine's going to look absolutely, well, it'll look better than it came out of the factory. Seriously now, this will look absolutely amazing when it's done. It's hard to believe, actually, like you look at the other videos I do on my channel, it's actually hard to believe how well they come out. I try and strip absolutely everything down without fail. That bush there now, I've just taken the screws out and that just falls out. That's pretty manky. I might have a quick look and see if I can get a replacement one of them because it looks quite worn. I've got that in there. I can take him out after. So I've got a table over here where I can start laying stuff down when it starts getting a bit more cluttered in parts. Still get gaskets for this, which is good. So I don't have to take time looking after them. Right, I want to get rid of that electric cable first. So we've got to get the flywheel off. If you're new to taking flywheels off and that, you're going to need flywheel pullers. And I'm hoping in my box of flywheel pullers that I'll have one that will do it. Right, that's a 17. These are usually left hand, so you can kind of look on the threads, and it does look left hand. So you've got to put it on the different rotation. That's doing up, that's wound in. But we want to do this up, which will undo it. Oh no, standard thread on there, guys. Standard thread. Wasn't a reverse thread. So now inside these flywheels, now there's a thread in there, and then the flywheel puller, you thread it into the flywheel, and then there's a little pin you'll push. I'll just grab my box of flywheel pullers. I really do hope I've got one here. I'll just show you flywheel pullers. So you can see all the flywheel pullers in there. So what I'm going to do now is just go through a couple, and you want to make sure you don't jam these on, because what you'll end up doing then is cross-threading it, and then you'll be annoyed because it's just cost you money and time. So I'm sure there'll be one here that will suit it. Now, these I'm pretty sure, I can look on the threads there, and then look on the threads of the flywheel puller to just so this looks like a 0.1 of a thread, and this flywheel puller looks very worn, so I won't use that one. None of them. I hope I do have one here. Not a good start to the video if I haven't. Looks like a normal. No. So what's that? That is 1.25. It looks like a 1 mil pitch. This is a very fine pitch. Let's have a look at this one, possible. I never like doing these. No. What I'll do is I'll just clean the thread of that. Looks like the same pitch. I'll just get the wire brush on here now and just clean. Yeah, it's worn. Being used. Oh. It's not going to be this one then, guys. Oh, it feels like. Ah, that's why it's not going. Because there's been a bolt snapped off in it there. I don't think I've got that. Too small. Too coarse. That could be it. So this one. as easy as 1, 2, 3, is it? That's a very fine pitch. Does look like that. Tell you what I'll do, I will just give it a couple of taps. Sometimes they can come. No, I don't think it's going to come off. Oh dear. I don't know what I can do there. I'll just try this one. Oh, have we got him? Aye, we have. Look out, guys, we have found one. So what I would usually use is my gun now to whip this off, but this one is a little bit more awkward. I might have to go and get, 1 minute, I'll go and get my So this is a tool for holding the. You can get mold grips for holding the flywheels for just this for doing this like. Slide that over there. Tying that up. Oh, that's tight. So you can see how that works there. I sell these in my TAGZ catalogue if you're interested. So there we go. So you've got your puller, and then you've got the clamp to hold the flywheel. So once we're done with that, take that off there. I will keep that tool in the flywheel until it's all going back together. I'll get rid of all these tools in here now and put them away. We've got your stator plate here now, and we want to use this tool again. Right, someone's been in here. You can see them heads in there now are quite worn. Focus you in there. You see him? He's been twisted, so someone's been in here before. I was hoping that it would be an untouched engine, but it's not. So they're tight. Oh, that's got them. Definitely recommend getting one of these tools, guys. There's nothing worse than rounding off Phillips. Just give them a clout on the top. And with the hammers, use one of these 4 hammers. This has got a soft copper on one side, and then it's got wood on the other side. So you're not going to be damaging anything, especially hitting against the aluminium castings and stuff like that, if it's necessary. I know we all get a little bit. I'm just going to take it all apart quickly. Alright, so we've got a sensor there. Pop him off, and that should just slide out with that. No more screws in there, is there? And usually not this tight. There we go. This one's tight. Oh, there we go. So that's the stator off. So we'll put that underneath here. You want to try and keep that away from metal filings and stuff like that. So that's all pretty ready there. So now what we want to do now is work on this oil pump, and then there's some hoses that go up around there. So what we'll do now is work on taking the sprocket off. And how have they chewed this? Looks pretty bloody chewed up. So we're going to bend these tabs back down now. We just use a chisel. Chisel, if you haven't got a chisel, use a screwdriver, but it's usually very rare. People don't have a chisel. This could be quite a pain because I've taken the need to lock that. So if I get the pop it into gear, stop it spinning round. Right, stopped it spinning round there, right? Just pop the. So now I can get it at it. Oh, how they have really mullered this up onto there. Just got to get the start of the edge, and then you can. There we go. So you just get it in the. Flatten it back down. Just done that. Now I've got a socket here big enough for it. Oh, so I've got to go back into the workshop. Again. I will try a spanner on it. If I've got a big enough spanner. Might have to 27 mil. Let's see if this is gonna happen now. It's always good to do this. Oh, loose. Lucky. So again, now I've got that off, I can get one of them matched up. It's all pretty dirty. And the way you tell when a sprocket's gone, obviously you can clearly see it's been worn on the side, but if you look at the peaks, you can see the peaks are starting to bend back that way, which is telling you, right, yes, it needs to be changed. So they're not proud, you can't, the chain has cut them out. And it's always good, if you do change a sprocket, as a rule you should change the sprockets and chain all at once, kind of defeating the object otherwise. Stick it in there. Right, let's work on this pump. Man, this go everywhere. What I should have done as well is, I think I should have jetted this engine off before I started. So I'm going to be absolutely covered in crap. Right, we'll work on disconnecting these pipes. I don't want to damage them because they're all moulded and they're all nice in there. So I'm going to pop them off there, which looks like a 10mm. Nope. Let's try an 8. 8 it is. Nice and loose. And then you've got one at the top here. Little nice little banjo bolts. Look after them guys. So, and if you do take these off, make sure you replace the copper washers. Don't replace the copper washers, you're going to end up getting a leak. Nobody likes a leak. Right. Move that one forward so we can take one out at a time. Take the banjo bolt out. Yep. And what I'm going to do, I'll leave that rubber at the top there, which tells me which way they come out. Oh, broken. I'll have to get a new one of those. Pop them in there. One banjo bolt. 2 banjo bolts. Couple washers. Stick them in there. This pump looks like it's fixed down with 2 screws. Posies. Phillips again. So, not that one, this one. Ooh, we'll need a sharper point. Change that. As a rule with these drivers, there's 2 different sizes you get with the kit, so you can get more. There we go, let's split up. 1. And then 2. Two. Is there another one hiding there? I doubt this is going to come out as easy as I think it is. Should come out as one unit. No, I'm missing one somewhere. Got that there. Or it could be something on the back side of it. Like I said, guys, I haven't rebuilt one of these engines before. Right, there's something else holding that. Yeah, I think there's something in the back side of that, so we'll have to look when we turn the engine round there and have a look at that now after. Right, what we'll do there now is pop the cylinder head off. We'll pop this little bracket off here. There's a bit loose. See, what can you see there? A little bit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and they look like a 17-ish. Nope. 14. So that looks like they're going straight down to the Ah, right, I see. They're like inverted. So these now, I'll send these off for zinc plating, because I know I'm not going to get new ones of these. And remember about the washers. There's 2 washers on them for some reason. You've got a flat washer, and then you've got your spring washer. So the spring washer is first, and then the flat washer. 1, 2, 3, so keep all them together. 2, 3. I haven't seen that design before. I've never seen a cylinder head bolted on like that. I'm missing a washer, so another washer in there somewhere. It could have been missing before because I know someone has been in here. Right, and that should just come straight off. We've not got a gasket. They haven't put a gasket. No gasket. There's surely a base gasket that's meant to go on there. Again, I'll look in the manual. Right, we're done with that now, so stick that on your trolley. And then just give this a wiggle. This one could be a lot tighter. Right, let's just give them a couple of knocks with the hammer. Wooden side. When you are knocking a barrel, make sure you knock it, don't hit these fins. You hit these fins, you'll just break them off. So I'm just literally just... Oh, someone's been in here before, for sure. There we go, 1 barrel. Pretty simple, they don't get any more simpler than that. We'll clean all that gasket off. This will all be bead blasted. It looks like it's had a rebore. 56 is standard size and someone's bought it out to 56.5. So, and whoever put that cylinder head on, wow, I've never seen anything like it. Oh no, it is there. There we go. Steel. Yeah, I'm not used to these old bikes. I'm used to the moderns, you know, paper gaskets and everything. Oh, boy, that is rum down in there. That is a lot of crap. You can see the crap inside there. That is very bad. Like everywhere. Right. Have I got my tool to get this set? I usually got a dental stick, but with these E-clips, sometimes you can get them with a screwdriver. Yeah, quite. There we go, out he comes. And when you're doing them E-clips, guys, make sure you wear some kind of eye protection, because they could give you a good clout. And these can be quite awkward after a bit of time. Like a ever so slight bit of proud of material in its way. They can be, the gudgeon pins can be quite awkward to get out. And I think this one is going to be an awkward one. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. I will leave that on. That's not a necessary part to take off. So I'll leave them out. Take that off there, 10 mil. Nope. 12. 13. No, definitely 12. Where are my 12 mil spanners gone? Loose. what I try and do when I'm taking sides apart. I try to keep them all in the same tub, so I need to take that off. This is the neutral sensor, maybe? It's a sensor anyway, yeah, possibly a neutral sensor for the gauges. What else can I take off on this side? Got the Sprocket Bush there. That needs to come out. Where are you mounted there? Can you still see? There we go. So this is what's probably been leaving all the mess behind. So we give this a wiggle, it should just come out like that. And then if you get yourself a seal puller, you might be able to get this out now. There we go, seal puller. You just pull the seals out. Right, I need to take the oil out of the cylinder. That's something you should do first, really, guys, is take the oil out first. I haven't done so. Twist there, should surely just flow out. Where is the actual drain plug on this? The drain plug's on this side. So we'll knock that out there now while that's doing some draining. Stuff in the way here. So we've got the drain plug here. So we'll pop him out there now. Got two guards, so we're back to this tool again. It's quite tight there. Let's just make sure this is locked back in. Still going in the container. Just bend that back a little. This is another part I'll send off for anodizing, brake zinc plating. Ooh. Let's try a different tip there. One. Two. So I might replace all these with Allen heads. Haven't decided yet. Don't really like using posies. At least with Allen heads I can nip them all up to a torque setting as such. So with that guard there, I'm going to put that in my zinc plating tub. We need to undo that, crack that off. What size is that? That is this span is a crap. 17 to possibly a 19. No, 20. 22, 19, 20. No, not 20 either. 21. There we go. I will send this nut off for zinc plating as well. Stick that in the tub. let's rotate the engine then. Now this could get messy. Right, let's have a look here. A little bit out, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here now. So bring it round. Anything coming out? Zilch. I think I've had it all out of this side. So what we'll do, we'll call that quits. Get rid of some of this old rag. Bring it back over the other side now, and then we'll spin the engine around. Oil. What I'm going to do is what I'm going to do now is get rid of this tub here. Then there, they're going to be zinc plated. Some more screws there. Right, remove this tub out of the way. Spaces I can put on there. Put a socket in there. Nope. Nipping up the engine now for when I start working on this side. Get it all nice and tight together. Right. Surely there's going to be some oil coming out of there now. Right, so undo all these screws here now. This is the clutch side. Back to the impact. See what kind of mess we've got in here. That one's seized. He's going to come out though. That was loose. This is your oil fill screw. I'll take this one out here. Another one. Another one. Well, they didn't want this engine falling apart, did they? I really wouldn't think about taking one of these engines apart without one of these, because if you round off one of them posi ended screws, you're going to make yourself a nightmare. It's not going to be an easy fix. So that plug there I just taken out there, that's your, when you're filling up the gearbox oil, you take that out and then you wait for it to come out of there, and then you put it in once it starts coming out, and that lets you know that there's enough oil in it. Simples. Nice little easy way of knowing if you've still got oil in the bike or not. And replaced with stainless steel. This could be quite exciting now to take off. But someone's definitely been in here before because the heads of the screws are being twisted, so and again, yeah, this engine has definitely been serviced at one time in its life. Fill the cap off. Oh, something connect. Oh, that'd be the gasket. Still get gaskets for these engines, guys. So that's the other case there. Just view the back, make sure there's nothing broken in there. Got a seal in there which holds the end of the hub, but it looks a good solid case. Right, moving on. This is the side. That can be quite complicated and daunting. Right, I'm going to make a bit of an area on here now. So I can lay it. So we've got this here, which could be possibly connected to the actual pump, but I don't think it will be. I haven't seen the clutch like that. Usually the springs have got little dowels in, so you're going to have to use a hook to get the... I've never seen that before. That's a new one on me. So what happens when you start taking things apart, that's new to you. So look at this spring off here. Squeezing those. So these springs here are usually wound, just slotted in the shaft, so you just got to edge them out. As a rule, you usually take plastic bush out first. They usually just come out in one assemble, to be honest. Let's see if we can get him there. Nope. That's definitely gripped down now. What have I got to grip that? Let's see if we can get these dowel pins out. Can I use this? Yes. Don't lose them. They're going to be fun to put back in anyway. Where's that one go? We'll have a look at it after. Try and do is try and get underneath that spring. Should make life a little easier. push him back in. It's quite cool. Never seen this design, this is new to me. I never knew clutches went together like this. Ooh, this is fun. Another one. Another one. Well, I'm intrigued on how I'm going to put these back in. That's it. That's all of them. Push that back in it. And then that top plate should come off. There we go. And what I try to do is just literally lift out the whole clutch as one, assemble. And then I usually just, clutch is still good in it, but I'll see if I can get a replacement clutch for it. Now we're here. Never seen that design before, that's unreal. Right, got your top hat. Then you've got your nut, which we've got to chisel that edge away, spin him around that way. See that flange there? Can you see that? It's bent over, so we've got to bend that back. Let's try that. Size is that. So it's 23, possibly 20. Nope. Size is this? 21, so it's 22. 22. That there will come off now, and the basket should be a washer behind it. What have we got behind it? We've got a spring. Does that come out of there? No, that's the drive from the backside. Underneath here, there should be a washer. Yes, you've got the washer on that side there. What else you can check for as well is the bronze bush inside the actual basket as well. But I'll check that when I go to put it, before I go to put it back together, and make sure I've got everything together to put it back together. Right. This has definitely had a rebuild once in its life anyway. Someone's definitely been in here. Another tab here that's been bent over, so we've got to bend that one back as well. We will get him out there now. Where's the hammer gone? Yep. I might have a look on the OEM drawings and see if I can get replacements. They're never right once they've been used once. Oh. Next size up. Nope. Oof. Same again on that. Wash up. A keyed wash up. And presumably this gear will just, I doubt that's just going to come off. That's going to take a good struggle on that one for a bit. I will give them a couple of taps. He's loose. Not a clip in there, is there? Right, these gears now could be very fragile. Wouldn't take much. I wouldn't say very fragile, but they're, what do you call it? High tempered. What am I missing in there? It's loose. Right, I'm going to take this plate off here. I've got a funny feeling there's a flange on the back side of this gear. So this is like a thrust plate to hold that in one place. So we'll look at the state on that screw there, and you know I haven't been there. See that screw? Someone's been in here. Oh, thank God. That's tight. That is very tight. These ones are loose. Someone's definitely been in here anyway. There we go. Oh, this one doesn't want to move. Oil. Right, please don't round off. Be nice. Play nice now. Whoa. That took a beasting to get that one undone. You wouldn't have done that with a screwdriver, no way, would you? You would have rounded that straight off. Straight off. Posi screwdriver, where's that gone? Yep. I swear, Brian, this is why it won't come off. I hope it is anyway. There's always some way of dealing with these engines. No. Man, I thought that's how it come off. It's an interesting one. What is stopping that? I know what's happening there. Right, the key, there's a little keyway in the sprocket, so this is moving in the keyway, but the key is not moving, so I need to just give that key a bit of a to break the seal on the. See, now the play's gone out of there now. Ooh. Yeah, I might have to go and... Oh man, I wouldn't want to put a puller onto that. So you see in there, in that little notch there, there's a little key that slips inside there. So the key is moving on the spine, but the key is locked inside the thing there. So how would I get that undone there now? I'm going to wedge the back side of it. Let's see if I can get it better. Nothing really there to... Right, it's going. So just take your time. It's coming. Oh, it's still tight. There we go. There we go. And there's the key. That was sliding backwards and forward of the thing. So there's your plate. There's one of your big end bearings. Right, let's get rid of all this side in here. So zoom you in there a little so you can have a little ganders. There's one thing about doing this video, at least I know how everything goes back together. It's not actually a bad idea, I should start doing it. But I well recommend you all give this a go. Like, it's nothing scientific about it, like, at the end of the day. You only learn by doing things yourself. You'll never learn it if you don't do it. It's a nice wash up. And then we've got that there, gear shifter there, that goes onto there. So this is the fork shifter that's inside the gearbox. This rattles on there, that's a spring that pulls it back down. So this is the part that usually goes clink, clink, clink. That there is just a little clip. Let's see if we can get that off without it going miles. So a little C-clip there. Oh. I'm going to put that next to that. There's a bush there, is it? Is that a bush? Or is that a bush actually on the plate? Oh. Yeah, bush is on the plate. I'm pretty sure that would come out if you wanted to take it out, but I don't want to take it out. That's another part of it done. So we've got this part here, this bolt up here. What does that look like? It's like a 12, if you ask me. Oop. Oh, it is a 12. Where's that gone? tension there from that spring. This is usually the thing you usually hear go clink, clink, clink. Take that spring off. It's gonna come off. There we go. And that bolt there was a special bolt. It had a little, I'll show you now. That bolt there, look, it's got a little step on it, and then when you tighten it up, it won't pinch it against the side. So you can see there it's proud a couple of mil, so it can still pivot actually on the bolt. So that's another, if you're a fanatic and you want everything perfect, maybe if you can get a new one of those and a new one of those, and then you're gonna make the tolerance tighter there, so you're gonna get a better spin on it. But it's not necessary for this kind of bike. If it had to be, you know, race ready, I'd probably do it. But I don't particularly like a hard gearbox. Don't forget, guys. Remember to like the video and subscribe. More subscribers I get, the more videos I'm going to do, and I want to do more of lots of different bikes. I do take on rebuilding bikes for people. I've had a couple inquiries now lately. The worst thing is when people ask, how much to rebuild a bike? Well, how big's your wallet? That's all I can say. There's no point rebuilding a bike the way I do them if you're worried about money. If you're worried about money, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be thinking about rebuilding them, really. If you know, if the bank is tight, stay away from them. Seriously now. Especially these older ones, they usually cost the most to do up. When you put these back together, I've always used a very soft compound of Loctite from previous engines I've done. I've noticed them going loose, especially the whole drum mechanism, because there's quite a bit of force there, and sometimes when you miss a gear or whatever, you kind of jam it in. So this part here should just slide out of there with the that's not gonna, is that gonna come out of there? I can't. All right, okay, so I can take that spring there, needs to come off. So take this spring off, and then that there should just come off flat. Is that going to come off there? Should do. It's not tight. Oh no, maybe so then. That's a bummer. So that can't come, that surely come out of there. There we go. A bit of playing around and a bit of tweaking. So this goes right through the engine, and this is what your rear brake lever sits on. So take that out of there, and that's what you're left with. And then this here is what springs everything backwards and forwards. So with that gear shaft as well, it's always good to clean out the end. So when you go to put the new gear lever on, or whatever, it's all nice and fresh. Here, this is the one that usually comes loose on the 500s, and that's what that gear shifter is. See that? I haven't even undone that yet, and that's loose. So this one here, I recommend you put a high strength Loctite on it. I've split many engines, and that one there, as a rule, is usually loose. Don't over tighten it, do it up to whatever newton meters the OEM manual says, because you round the thread off in there, you're just going to make yourself, it's going to be a nightmare. But you should use the manual for all of the torque settings. Don't just do up so many without. Where's this on? So, it's on the gun. Nope. I am missing a socket here somewhere. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's that one over here. So that wasn't even tight. So this is the one that usually comes loose, and that's what the gear shifter stands on. So when you've got your foot and you're trying to clonk it into gear, all that pressure's going on this. This is a steel one. Inside here is the alloy, and you've got a spring washer behind. Make sure this is 100% clean. When you're putting all this back together, make sure you like ultrasonic or wash it properly. So when you put Loctite on these bolts here, they will lock in there nice and tight. So all of this stuff here, that one here, I'd use a high strength Loctite. And then on these ones around this area, you want to use a medium Loctite, especially on Phillip head countersunk screws. They'd just be an absolute nightmare otherwise. And I can run my finger over there now, and I can feel how it's wobbled out the edge of the alloy there. Ah, no. Someone already been in there? Looks like a helicoil has been put in there. Oh, so, yeah, possibly. Yeah, it looks like there's been an insert put in there, but anyway, moving on. I'll expect that when I've got the cases all split. So around here, all clean, shaft off there, nothing sat on that one there. Can I take any more off this one? No, that comes off from the other side. Right, this here now, it's usually a pain in the butt. As a rule, I usually able to get the white part. There we go. Take that out of there, and then that there. Just push that over to that side. Oh, and then it rewinds. Remember how much that rewounded then? So that rewounded one complete turn. So I got to put that back in there, and that's got to go back around there half a turn. So remember how many they go, because if you don't set that right, it just won't feel right when you're trying to start it. And then this one, lean them right back, and then we go out. We can't. Yeah. So remember that, guys. And then we've got a steel plate there on the bottom. Went something like that anyway. Yeah, went like that. That one catches in there. That one locks on there, and then that goes into there, like voila. And then that bush sits on the bottom of that. Yeah. Right, that is all this side. I can't do any more on this side now. So I've got to flip it round again now and get a crankcase puller on it. Undo all the crankcase bolts. So if I just pull you back a bit there. I've got a bit of brightness control there. Right. Stick him over there. By the way, this is a TAGZ engine holder, 33-510. Very handy piece of kit. Saves the engine rolling around on the worktop, and it catches the oil, like you can see there. So you can see all the oil in the bottom of there. So it's actually very handy. Right, there's a couple more bolts that I want to take off the top of this engine here. Oh my God, it's loose. I haven't even touched that. I think we've just saved this engine just in time, you know. I think if it was left any later. All right, so we've got a little spring in there and a little ball bearing. So that there must be for a selector. I don't know what that'd be for. That's possibly for your that's your neutral, that is. So that's your neutral on the gear. I haven't seen it done that way before, that's a new one on me. So that's your neutral plug there. That sits in there, and then as you spin the shaft round, you'll see the shaft now in a minute, and it's got a thing there. Right, let's put that all back in now. That little dowel, these dowels come out of here. Right. Watch out for that one. This dowel just falling out, this little nifty little thing, and that's off these drums here. They slip back in there. So I'm going to take all of them out now so I don't lose them. Oh, that's intriguing. So we got, can that go in there? Right, so that one there, that one sits in there, and this is a special one. This must be the way it goes back together. This must be a special guide for the plate that went on top of it after. And then all these other ones are long dowels. So I need to take them out there really. If one of these long dowels go in the hole for this one, it will actually stick out more than all the others. So that's an indicator that these dowels have been put in wrong. We'll take all them out. Bit of movement on that. Just bring that on the bench here. To get these dowels out, what you usually use, can you see what I'm pointing at? These here, to get these dowels out, if you need to take them out, you put a drill that's exactly the same size as that hole in there, nice cushy fit, and then you use like the pipe clamps too, or like a nice solid, not pliers, mold grips, and then just turn it side to side and it will come out nice. And they'll be ready to use when you go to rebuild the engine. That's if you need to take them out. I won't take them out because I have no need to. If you're powder coating an engine or something like that, yes, then you need to. Just double check on that back side. There's no screws going through the crankcase. No. So all the crankcase screws are on this side. So what we'll be working on are all these screws inside here and all the screws around the outside. And then we're going to see the gearbox. That was the thing I needed to check on that side, is that oil pump. Why that oil pump didn't want to come out. Ah, right, okay. So a couple of clonks there now, that oil pump should come out of there. Let me just have a quick look. That oil pump should come out of there. Doing nothing. There's a screw there. I will take that out there now. Looks like a tin. Not sure what that is for. It's loose. I don't think that's anything to do with the pump. It's got a Phillips head in it. Something anyway. It looks like a little oil drain or what, I don't know what that's for. Could be another overflow maybe, possibly. Let's have a look at this oil pump. Ooh, there we go. What did that just let out? That just let out a steel rod. That's what that pin did there. Oh, and then that rod there come out. That must have come out of the clutch. Clutch, that is. Right, let's get all these screws undone. There's nothing else hiding in there, is there? I'm surprised that's not coming out of there. I really am. Just have to see what happens when we... Might be screws coming in the back side of it. I'm not sure. We'll have to see when we start to split it. Right. More banging. One. Two. The beauty about this engine holder as well, if you've got a real stubborn bolt to undo, you can take the, that's tight. You can take the feet off and stick the actual main crossbar in a vise. What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to pick that up like that. And I can give the bolts a bit more of a vertical wallop. No, this one's been rounded off. Someone's been in here before. If you're going to replace the... If you're going to use the same bolts, I seriously recommend you look at replacing them. They'll all be still available from Suzuki. Missing the other posi drive. Is it underneath there? There it is, behind the socket. Right, so we've got a... No, I don't think that one's going to be... No. Bloody hell. Fucking monkeys. Oh, lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. We need to get a new one of these. It's starting to really annoy me. Loose. Loose. One inside there. I'm sorry I can't show you inside here what bolts I'm undoing, but you literally just want to take all the bolts out that are holding the two crank cases together. Have I done that one? Got them. That one goes through there. Start on the inner crankcase ones. One. Well, they weren't shy with the bolts in there anyway. Definitely not. 1, 2. That's going to be a hard one to get. Oh, this one seems pretty mud. You can do bolts back up with this as well. Not that I'd want to. I'm not going to be using Phillips anymore. I'll be replacing all these with Allen's possibly. Just make sure that the heads are the same size. Right, that's all of them. Let's flip that back over there so you can see what ones I've done. In here, all these bolts in here, which hold the two crank halves together to show the gearbox. Look at that seal, it's almost out. That's not a good sign. Shouldn't do that. I've never seen that happen. The seal's pretty much out. That seal there should be flush with this edge here, but somehow it's worked its way out there. I might just have a quick look in the manual about that now and see how that comes out, because I don't want to try and split this engine. And that one's a Titan, and this is the rounded one. Come on. Is that it? One inside there. Let's get him. Double check, make sure you got all the bolts. So I'm going to have a quick look in the manual now and see how that pump comes out of there. I don't see what else can be holding it in. Unless there's something on the backside, that's the only thing I can assume. Because obviously, yeah, that's going to be on the backside because it's going to have to drive the pump off the engine, so yeah. I wonder how difficult this is going to be to split, because modern engines usually have more mounting holes around here, so this could be a lot awkwarder to actually split. So I've got this tight one on this side here. I'll put these in a different tub. This one on this side is tight. What have we got up here? Looks like a piece of rubber. What else are we? Are we missing anything else? I don't think so. So this could be slightly awkward to do now. Another screw there. this is a crankcase splitter, 1, 2, 3, but I don't think it's going to work on this. I might give it a go, but just set him up there. Let's see if it's going to work. I might have to disappear to go and get some bolts for it to work. But I know some engines, so this would go on there like that. So yeah, I'm going to have to go and disappear to go and get some longer bolts. That sits on the crank like that, and then you put one there, one there. We've got to put like a Y, like a star equal. So I think it's going to be one there, and one there. How long are they going to be? What size are they as well? Are they going to be the same size as that? Got one there. One there. And one there. Right, 2 minutes, guys. I'll go and get some of them. Right, I've got some nice long screws. So these are M6 fitting, so M6 by 1, just a standard metric course pitch, and then some washers as well. I'm not having high hopes for this method. I don't think it's going to work. It's quite a way in it. I'm going to have to go. Oh, it might work. That's the actual highest one. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll give it a go. And that's the highest one. Got a slightly longer one in there. So the reason why we're doing this is obviously because of the main bearings are still stuck in the crankcases. Not stuck, but it stops the bearings spinning. If the bearings span, it would just wear the case out. Right, next one. This is the one I'm not really putting much hope to. You need to try and get them separate, like a star. Right, if these stop turning, don't over tighten them or else you'll punch a hole in the back of your case. Like that, so that's hit the dead bottom of that there now. And then just wind this one up. The squarer you get this, the easier it should be to. So if I just show you around there now what I've done, you can see that I've applied it in a Y best as I possibly can, and then what you're going to do, you're going to just turn it a little bit and then just go around and knock the engine, and you've got to make sure you be careful doing this. You don't want to be ripping out threads or anything. A bit dark there, isn't it? There we go, that's better. Right. So what I'm going to do is just push that nut up to there. Right. So what size is that? Bigger on a 19 anyway. 22. Bigger on a 22. 24. Right, so I'm just going to have a look around it now and make sure it looks like that little bit of pressure I've already put on it, it's already split a little. So just going to put a bit more pressure on it. Oh, that's tight. Just triple check that there's no screws left in it anywhere. I'm pretty sure I got them all. I'm going to check on the other side, make sure it's not on there. None as I can see. Let's just give that another crank and see if we can try and get it to budge a little bit. Oh, something just gone then. Yes, right, she's starting to split now, guys. That's good. There we go. Right, nothing's happening over here. Something to do with this pump. Something I'm missing. No screws in there. I'll just undo this screw here. This is just a little bleed screw. It's nothing. Yeah, it's just a little bleed screw. Nothing underneath that. You can see around the back of that. Let's just give it another tweak there and just see if it will just wake up. Well, that's not going to be fun, this is it. I hate doing old engines. Worst thing about old engines is they get delicate over a amount of time. Things going to give that bottom side a couple of whops with a bit of wood. See if that will help. Spin it up. See if we get them there like that. Still see. There we go. Just be gentle and take your time and she will come. If this is like super hard to do, guys, there's something, you're missing a screw or something, just do a bit at a time. Go around the case and just make sure everything is free. She's coming. She's coming. Can you see that? Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can see the split. She's coming. So what usually holds it together is dowels I showed you before. But seriously now, guys, make sure you take your time doing this, because the last thing you want to do is split one of these crankcases. I'm not an engine builder, guys. I just literally do this for these rebuilds, you know. And the worst thing about when you're doing stuff like this, now I've got to loosen off this bolt here. What I'm going to do is take that out there. We don't want that just jumping straight off. I think this will be it now. No. I think I'm struggling on the sprocket shaft. I could do with a better tool really for this. What else have I got? That's wood. Another bits of wood here. Maybe too big now. What I think I'm sticking on is this sprocket drive shaft. That's what it's sticking on. So I think that's it now. Yes. Right, so now we've got all the gearbox in here now, so we need to be as fragile as we possibly. Oh, there we go. See how that worked, guys? Simple. Right, I'm going to put this back over here. Put that back down there. careful now. Ooh, let's put that pin back in now. Where's that bolt gone? What have we done with that bolt? Lock that back up there. Let's do that bolt. Right, let's pull the gearbox out now. Let's take that bit of gasket off there. Right, so this is your selector drum. As a rule, that's usually the first thing to come out, and you usually just pull the dowels out. So the dowels slot in the back of the case, so I'm going to pull the first one out. When I take it out, rotate the one selector. Be careful now because there might be bushes on the end of these selectors. Put the selector back in there. Is there a bush there? Yeah, so there's a little fine bush to go back on there, so watch that. Yeah, just one in that side. So I'm going to put that back down now. And that one's got a letter R on it, facing. So now we've got this side. So this looks like it's just, I haven't seen this method of, we've got a split pin in there, that's different. What I might try and do is lift the whole lot out wholesale. Let's just see if that's going to work. Is it going to work? Yes. So lift it out wholesale without damaging all them clips. Just take your time. So we get the gear on there. Let's get that gear out. Another gear on this side. Washers and all sorts here. Just be careful. Right. There we go. One gearbox. Let's bring this back down onto the bench. Onto that one. There's a washer there as well. And then that one there. Oh, is that pressed in? That one's pressed in on that. Oh, two. Ooh. We've got two shims. That shouldn't be like that, I don't think. I'm going to check the OEM drawer in there. I don't think there should be two shims on there. Definitely not. It's very rare to see two shims like that. So I'll double check that. No, actually that'll be right, because one, there's a little special bear in there that goes on the back side there, so that is right. Two washers there, yeah, two very fine washers. Now this here looks a little complicated. Seen this kind of design before, so this is all new to me. We've got this on the top. Is this like a lock? So you've got this plastic bush that's on the top there. See that? Plastic bush. Just sticking down there. Let's have a look. So what I've got, where's that bloody bolt? That's in that case, is it? Yes. Right, so let's put that back in. Coming down 45. Got this here. Looks a little complicated. I haven't seen it before. This speedo drive here. Speedo is it? Or rev counter maybe? I'm just wondering how how I meant to take that out. Definitely speedo of some kind. I think I'm doing a lot of thinking on this. That shaft has got to come out this way. So I've got to get interesting. Oh my god, I really don't know, you know. That is a new one on me. I just don't understand. Oh, right, unless that there, that spine there, does that? Well, that. I don't understand how you're meant to take that out. I think that spins. That's a puzzle, all right. Unless this here is just keyed on. But it's impossible for that to come. I need to take that out. And I honestly don't know how to take that out. This is going to be a bit awkward, isn't it? I really can't understand how that fucking works. That rod has to go up for it to come out. And that bush comes off the bottom of it, so... This here's... Did that move then? Yes, it does move. So this whole thing comes out. I see now. I see how it works. Right, so that's just literally dropped in. There we go. I thought I was going to be defeated. So this just goes straight up. I can get them. Just a couple of O-rings grabbing it. I've never seen this before. This is the first time I've done this engine, so it's a good. If you're watching this now and you're just about to rebuild one, I've just saved you 10 minutes on how to take that out. Appreciate that. And there's a drive, and that should just come out of the bottom there. Make sure there's no springs in here. That needs a good clean. And then you've got an alloy bush, and these holes is where the oil gets in. There's a hole up in the top of the case there that you've got to relocate, and then that hole there is on the show at the bottom. That's actually very nifty. And then you've got the washer there. So that's pretty cool, if you ask me. Cool. If that's, that would be, and then this one here now just, ooh, there we go. This is the fun part when this is going to come back, when this goes back together. Right, let's have a look here. It's taken back out. Right, on the side here, I've got this dowel. I think I've just lost a spring as well, for sure. Oh, and I just dropped the bit on the floor. Let's pick him back up. Right, can you see right there? Right, inside here, nice steel washer. Got a little cam lobe there. This is what activates the ratchet. And then, there we go. So there, inside there you got the hole. Now this must have gone that way, in. And yes, I've definitely lost a spring. 100% I've lost a spring. It wouldn't work otherwise. I bloody knew that would happen. So I'm missing a spring here somewhere. I'll double check the OEM drawing. Is it inside the engine case? Oh, there it is. Bush. Little spring. That little spring sits. So see the spring there? See that dowel? I put that. The widest part goes in. That goes on there. And then this here sits back in that keyway. And then what you've got to do is push that spring. I'll double check if this is the way it goes back together, but you've got to force that spring back in there. It's pretty hard to force them back in, close them, and then slot them back in. So now that will work as a ratchet. Yeah, so it locks, drives. Yep, and then put your steel washer back on. Yep. One screw there, let's get him out. Nearly there, let's get the crank out. That crank is going to need rebuilding for sure. Looks a right mess. Put a new con rod and a new piston in, and she can be, so you'll be able to, big wheelie machine after I'm done. Right, let's tip him up there. Let's get that one screw out of there. Where's that? Oh, that's another seriously tight screw. It's going to be quite awkward to do on here now. I'll wait until I get the crank out, and then I'll do that after. When it's on the bench, nice and tidy. Right, removing the crank from this stage now. It's literally some light suspension on the other side. What we want now is the nut for the other side of the crank. So, you want this nut. Is it this one, or is it the other one? Yeah, that one. Put it on until flush. So I'm going to just take this out of here now. Ooh, wash up. Where did that just come from? That must have come off the gear drive. Flip him over there like that. That was just the bolt that was holding it in. Can you see what I'm doing here? Right, I'm going to hold this in my hand now. So I'm holding the alloy cast. So now all I'm going to do is just, with the copper end, and then take that off, nut, and voila, no engine. So now I'll take all them bearings out now tomorrow and locate them all, have a tidy up here. So let me just put this down. Stick that back on there for now. Oh my God, this is absolutely savage inside here. Look how bad that is. Stick a screwdriver for that. That is bad. Right, rag. Look how bad that is inside there. All in here, look at the state of that. Wow. That is a mess. So this engine will have complete new bearings. I might have a look on the exploded diagrams, replace this copper bush inside there. The more bushes you can change, the quieter the engine's going to sound when you originally start it up. And the crank will be completely overhauled. Put new conrod, piston, rebore, the lot. Let's just wipe the stand off there, you covered in grease. Right, I'll put the camera back over here. Zoom you out. So there we have it. Sorry, high enough. There we go. So thank you very much for watching this video. That's how you strip a TS and RV125 engine. Somewhat. I'm completely new to stripping these engines, so you know, give me a little bit of leeway on this video. Obviously none of my videos are cut, so you can see I'm going up exactly the same as you, and you can see how long it's taken me to do it. So there we go. I will probably put this back together slowly, get all the places all degreased, and I'll get them all blasted, and the whole engine's going to look mint. So remember guys, please like and hit that bell notification and get subscribed, because the more people I get subscribed to the channel, the more I'm going to do this. I know you want it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.